Good day to all students. In the previous video, we discussed about position and what is displacement. Now in this video, we will talk about velocity. Children, when I began this chapter with you, I told you that if we want to describe motion of a body or motion of a particle, we need to have idea about four physical quantities regarding motion of a body, that is position, displacement, velocity and acceleration. We already saw in detail how to get position of a body, how to decide position of a body at any time, how to identify displacement of a body in a given interval of time. We talked at length about that. So after getting information about position and displacement of a body, what is velocity, why do we need it, and then in the next video we will talk about acceleration. So children, I told you that if we want to describe motion of a body, we should be able to tell you that what is the position of a body at any point in the past, present or future, what is the displacement of the body in any given time interval, in the past or in future or at the present. So if I want to identify position of a body at any time in the past or present or in future, that means I should have some mathematical relation between position of a body and the time. We should have some mathematical relation, some mathematical formula connecting the position of a body and the time. Then only we will be in a position to know at what point of time body was where, or in future at what point of time, what instant of time body will be where. So first please understand, to identify position of a body means to have a mathematical relation between the position of a body and the instant of time t. So because in this chapter we are talking of motion in one dimension, we will assume that body always moves on x-axis, and so its position will be always identified by the x coordinate. So in this chapter we will identify position of a body by its x coordinate, and you will write x, the symbol for x coordinate of the position of body, and you will write xt because position will depend on time. Just like you write fx in maths in functions, the value of f depends upon x. We use this symbol f of x to indicate the value of f depends upon x. Then we find out what is f1, what is f2 and so on. So these give me value of function at point x equal to 1, x equal to 2 and so on. So similarly, now we will identify the position of a body by this symbol xt, means what was the x coordinate of the particle or the body at a given time t. So I may have relation like t square minus 4t, or xt is equal to 4 minus t, or xt is equal to 6 plus 2t, let us make it small, 1 plus 2t, or xt is equal to cos t, or xt is equal to 2 sin t, and so many other relations x can have between x and t. So this is the method of telling you that there should be some mathematical formula connecting the position x of the body as it moves on the x-axis, whether on the positive x-axis or on the negative x-axis, and the instant of time t. And then we can have the graphs, or we can have like this also. Supposing the body is stationary, then I know that its position will not change, it will remain same only. So we can have xt is equal to 3. That means the position of body always remains 3. It does not change with respect to time. So that means the body will be stationary because its position is not changing with respect to time. We will think like that. So these are some of the equations that I have given you between position and time. And children, if you want to draw the graphs, you know that graphs will come like this. You can take some points and you can plot. This is x-axis and this is y-axis where I will have time. So this is y-axis indicating position of time. This is x-axis giving me the, okay, here I will plot the x coordinate, the position, and on x-axis I will plot the time. So please remember, time will always come on x-axis and position x coordinate will be plotted on y-axis. Because x depends upon time. Remember children, whenever you draw graphs, on x-axis always independent variable will come which does not depend on anything. You know time and tide don't wait for anybody. So time is not dependent upon position. As time will change, then position will change. That means position depends upon time. Time does not depend upon position. Whether position of body changes or not, time will keep on passing, time will keep on increasing. So time is independent of position. Whether position is changing or not, it does not matter. Time will keep on passing. So time is independent variable and position is dependent variable. Therefore, whenever you draw graphs, always x-axis has got independent variable and y has got dependent variable. It is our common sense to decide what is dependent and what is independent. So I take time on x-axis and position on y-axis. And if you try to draw the graph of this equation, x t equal to t square minus 4t, if you take some variables like here there is t and here there is x. So time will minimum start from 0. So if you take 0, it will become 0. 0 minus 0. If you take time as 1, it will be 1 minus 4, it will be minus 3. If you take time as 2, so 4 minus 4, it will become 0. For 3, it will be 9 minus 4, it will be 5. For 4, it will be 16 minus 16, 0. So like this, as you can see from 0 and 4, the position will be 0. And then for 1, it is minus 3. For 2, it is 0. For 2, it will be 4 minus 8, it will be minus 4, sorry. So your graph may go like this. It will be going like this. So at 4 also 0 and at 0 also 0. At 1 it will be minus 3. So this is 1, this is 2, this is 3 and like this. So at 1 also it is minus 3, 2 it is minus 4. At 3 it is how much? 9 minus, see at 3 if I try, this will be 9 minus 12, it will be minus 3, sorry. So at 3 also minus 3 and at 4 at 0. Like this we get. And this is the graph of position versus time for x is equal to t square minus 4t. So this way we get the graph of position versus time. Then if I have got x t equal to 4 minus t, now you all have got basic knowledge. So this will be x on x-axis, time on x-axis, and this will be x on the y-axis that you know. So this will be the graph of a straight line having slope minus 1 that you all know how, and y intercept 4, so it may go like this. This will be the nature of graph. This will be the point 0, 4, this point, and slope minus 1. So this angle will be 135 degree. Okay, because slope is minus 1. So tan theta is minus 1, so theta will be 135 degree. Those all things you know. Then if I have got graph of x t equal to 1 plus 2t, it will also be a straight line. It will go like this. Of course, children, a graph should not cross this line because time cannot be negative. We will see that later on. For time being, we consider that graph, the time always starts from 0. So this will be the nature of graph. Here it is time, here it is x coordinate on y axis. This is x axis. 1 plus 2t. 1 plus 2t means slope will be 2. So tan theta is 2 and y intercept 1. The graph may go like this. This will be the point 0, 1. Then x t equal to cos t if I plot. X t equal to cos t. So this will be x coordinate and this will be time on x axis and y axis. Cos t graph goes like this. So this will be pi by 2. This will be 3 pi by 2. This will be pi. This will be 2 pi and likewise. X t equal to 2 sin t if I draw. This is again time. This is x coordinate position of body. 2 sin t. The graph will go like this. So this side will be 2, this side will be, depth will be minus 2 and all those things. So this will be the nature of the graph of position versus time. And x t equal to 3, that means position will always remain 3, whatever may be the time. So this is time and x, this is plotted on y axis, this is plotted on x axis. Position will be always 3, so this is 1, 2 and 3, this is the point 0, 3. So your position will be like this. So these are the few graphs I told you between position and time, and I have drawn the graphs for you. Like this you have to think. So as I told you that we should have information about the position of a time, position of the body at any instant of time. So by drawing the graphs, we will come to know what was the position of time at different time. At whatever time you want to know the position of body, put the value of t over there and you will get the answer of position. So when I want to tell you that we should have idea of position of body at any instant of time, that means we should be able to get the relation, mathematical relation between x coordinate of the body and the time, instant of time t. And then we can draw the graphs and understand more information about it. Why I have drawn the graphs, that you will see as I discuss average velocity and velocity with you. Then you will come to know why we need to have information about x and t. What is the relation between x and t? So few relations I have written over here. I have written for you. I will just take their use in the future descriptions. One was xt was t square minus 4t. One was 4 minus t. Then one was 1 plus 2t. Then one was cos t. Then one I have explained 2 sin t. Then one example I took about 3. And we have drawn the graphs. So children, now after this, if I talk about displacement, how to get displacement in any time interval, how to get displacement in any time interval. Once I know the relation between the position and time, then it is very easy to get displacement in any interval of time. Like for supposing over here I want to know what is the displacement from t equal to 2 to t is equal to 3 supposing. So what I do is I identify the position at 2 and position at 3. So what will be, supposing this is xt is equal to t square minus 4t. I am taking up the first example. When t and x, t will be 2 and t will be 3. Put 2, so 4 minus 8, that is minus 4. Put 3, 9 minus 12, it will be minus 3. So displacement is final position minus initial position, x2 minus x1. This is t1, t2, x1, x2. t1, t2, x1, x2. So this will be x2 minus this, so this will be 1. So displacement between time 2 equal to 3 second and 3 second is how much? 1. If I want displacement between 4 and 3, between these two if I want, so for t equal to 4, 16 minus 16, that will be 0. So displacement from here to here, it will be x2 minus x1, so 0 minus minus 3, and that comes out to be 3, like this we think. If I want displacement between 0 time and second time, from here to here, at 0 time what are the coordinates? 0 minus 0, 0. So at that time what will be delta x? x2 minus x1. See, first will be 0 time and then will be 2 time. Time will pass on 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So x2 will be 2 seconds and x1 will be 0 second, because earlier the body was at 0 time and then only 2 time, t equal to 2 seconds. So t equal to 0 will be considered as the first time and 2 second will be considered as the second time. So x2 minus x1, so this will be x2, this will be x1. So minus 4 minus 0, please understand nicely. And that is minus 4. So now you can see displacement is negative. In both these cases displacement is positive. So when we talk of delta x equal to x2 minus x1 and t2 minus t1, t1 is the initial time and t2 is the final time. So out of 0 second and 2 second, it will be the initial time. Naturally 0 second will be the initial time and 2 second will be the final time. So initial x coordinate and final x coordinate, therefore by minus 4 minus 0, we get minus 4, that is the displacement. Like that for all other points, all other graphs, you can find out displacement, put value of t1 and t2 and get delta x as x2 minus x1. For t1 you will get x1, initial time t1, initial x coordinate x1, final time t2, the later time, and the final coordinate x2, you will get delta x will be x2 minus x1. So you can realize that if we have the relation between position and time, we can get displacement very easily by taking xt equal to t2 minus x2 minus x1 and like this. We take the values of time which are provided to us, between whatever time interval we want the displacement. t1 and t2 will be given to us, like between 2 and 3 seconds or 3 and 4 seconds or 0 and 2 seconds. Take t1, t2, get x1, x2, take displacement x2 minus x1, you will get displacement for the corresponding time interval. And then you can do for other graphs also, like I have done for this one. So how to get position and how to get displacement, that we talked about. How to draw the graph of position versus time, that also I told you. Now supposing children we move on. Supposing as the time will pass, the position of body will change. So there will be displacement. Now supposing I take up a very simplistic example. Supposing there are two towns A and B separated by distance of 10 kilometer, and a boy is going from point A to point B on his bike, on his motorcycle, and he takes supposing 10 minutes to reach from A to B. So naturally children, if I want to know what was the velocity of the body, from class 9 you must have studied velocity or speed. Now when you were in class 9 you did not have much difference about velocity and speed in your minds, but now we will take up in detail. So right now I will also say velocity and speed, but after that I will differentiate between them and I will use the words properly. But right now I may use velocity or speed because you also don't know much difference about velocity and speed. But after we have understood what is velocity and speed, we will use our words very cautiously whether we have to use velocity or speed. So velocity of the body, you may think it is distance upon time. So you may think velocity हो गई 10 kilometer upon 10 minutes. So you may think it is 1 kilometer per minute. So you may say that speed or velocity of the boy or of his bike was 1 kilometer per minute. Now children, you know there is an instrument called speedometer in your bikes or in your cars or every vehicle that we are using. It indicates speed of the body at a given time. So when you say that the speed of the body was 1 kilometer per minute as it went from A to B, do you mean to say that the speedometer was fixed at this value only, 1 kilometer per minute? It was never changing? Definitely not, because whenever the road was empty, definitely the vehicle must have increased the speed, and whenever there was a traffic signal or there was rush, the vehicle would have slowed down. So therefore the speedometer would not have indicated the speed always as 1 kilometer per minute. So what is this 1 kilometer per minute that you have found out? This is not velocity of the body. This is average velocity. Because we know velocity always was not 1 kilometer per minute. But for the entire displacement from A to B, the displacement was 10 kilometer and time taken was 10 minutes. So we think that velocity, not the velocity but average velocity, was 1 kilometer per minute. So children, when you know that for the entire path, for the entire displacement, if the velocity was not constant, then we always say it is a case of average velocity, and we put a symbol of bar over the symbol of velocity v to indicate it's a average velocity. If the velocity would have been 1 kilometer per minute at every instant of time, supposedly that was possible, then only we would say velocity is 1 kilometer per minute, because velocity means instantaneous velocity at each time. And then because we know velocity at each instant of time was 1 kilometer per minute, then we don't use this symbol v bar, we say velocity is 1 kilometer per minute. So remember children, you have to use the words very cautiously, average velocity and velocity. If you feel that the velocity was same at every point of time, then only say velocity, otherwise always use the word average velocity. This is very, very important for you. So we are using the word average because we know that velocity was not same at every point of time, therefore we use the word average velocity. Total displacement upon total time. And children, please remember, therefore we define average velocity is displacement upon time interval. This is the definition of average velocity, and from the definition I can make out its units will be meter per second or kilometer per hour that we use in our common life every day. So if average velocity is displacement upon time interval, what is average speed? The average speed also, now because we are in chapter number 3 where we are discussing motion in one dimension, there is not much difference in the symbols of velocity and speed. But when we go to chapter 4, when we study vectors in detail, for velocity we will use symbol like this. We will put a vector sign to indicate it's a vector quantity. So velocity and average velocity, they are vectors because they depend upon displacement, and displacement is a vector. You already know. The average velocity and velocity, they are vectors, and from this formula you can make out the direction of average velocity or velocity and direction of displacement, they will be always same. Direction of average velocity and displacement or direction of velocity and displacement, they will be always same. They will never be in different directions. Please make your notes. Direction of average velocity or velocity is always the direction of displacement. And if you talk of speed, this is I was talking of average velocity. This is I am talking about average speed. That will be distance upon time. Distance upon time interval. And because we know that distance is a scalar quantity, therefore speed is also a scalar quantity, and its units also are meter per second or kilometer per hour. So average velocity will be displacement upon time and average speed will be distance upon time. Now please understand, children, if there is a square path like this and a body goes from A to B on this track, supposing this is 10 meter, this is 10 meter, this is 10 meter, the body goes like this, and this is also 10 meter. Supposing body goes from here to here and it takes 3 seconds to do so. So displacement is only 10 meter from initial position to final position. The average velocity, if we talk of like this, average velocity, displacement upon time taken, 3 seconds, that will be 10 upon 3 seconds. And if I talk of average speed, that will be V bar equal distance upon time. Distance will be 30 upon 3, that will be 10 meter per second, because time is still 3 seconds only to go from A to B. Time interval has not changed. So you can see average velocity and average speed, they are always not same, because you know displacement and distance always are not same. Displacement will be always less than or equal to distance, because displacement will be shortest distance between the initial position and final position. So whatever paths you take, you will always find that distance is always more than displacement. Therefore average will be always more and average velocity will be always less. But if there is a one-dimensional motion, supposing this is positive x and this is origin, a body goes from here like this and it keeps on moving in this direction, it does not change its direction. It is moving in x-axis, but it does not come back. It keeps going in one direction only. At that time, distance and displacement will be same, and therefore average speed and average velocity's value will come out to be same. So when is distance equal to displacement? Under two conditions. First condition is body should move in one dimension and it should not change its direction. It should keep moving in one dimension and it should not change its direction. If that happens, then displacement and distance will be equal. Because even if it is moving in one dimension, supposing it goes from here to here and it again comes back over here. So distance will be this much plus this much. Supposing this much is 10 meter from here to here, and then it again comes back over here. This is 5 point and this is 10 point. So distance will be 10 plus 5, 15, whereas displacement will be only how much? 5. Final position minus initial position. So if a body is moving in one dimension, it does not mean distance and displacement will be equal, because even if moving in one dimension, the distance is 15 meter, displacement is only 5 meter. But if it keeps on moving in one dimension and does not change its direction, then definitely distance and displacement will be equal, and at that time average velocity and average speed will have same value. Of course, they will not be same because velocity is a vector and speed is a scalar quantity. Velocity will be having direction, speed will not be having direction. Because children, we are dealing with one dimension, and one dimension has got only two directions, right and left, or upward and downward, anything. So one side, right side will be considered plus and left side will be considered minus to indicate right side or left side. So whenever our velocity is positive, that means it is the body is moving towards right, velocity is towards right side, and whenever velocity will be negative, that means body is moving towards left. Whenever displacement will be positive, we will think that displacement is in positive either x direction. Whenever displacement is negative, we will think that body is moving towards left, that is what we will think. So in one dimension there are only two directions and both the directions can be managed by plus and minus. Therefore, in spite of velocity and acceleration and everything being vectors, we will not use these type of symbols for velocity and acceleration or displacement. Plus and minus sign will help us in deciding the directions of velocity and acceleration and displacement. When we go to chapter 4, yes, there will be right side, left side, up and down, and inside and outside. There will be 6 directions. So for that we cannot handle with plus and minus, so we'll need vectors. We'll talk more about that in detail when we go to chapter 4. But right now in chapter 3, even though velocity, acceleration, displacement are vectors, their vector component, their vector nature will be tackled by giving them plus sign and minus sign. Plus will indicate one direction, minus will indicate the other direction. So about average velocity and average speed, I told you this much. This way, and we also discussed initially how to get the position of the body at any instant of time, how to get displacement of body in a given time interval. I talked about that. I told you that we should have information about position and displacement for any instant of time. That means first we should have some relation between the position and time, some mathematical relation. These are some of the mathematical relations, and we have drawn the graphs for these position versus time graphs. If I talk of velocity versus time graphs, velocity versus time graph, you know children that, okay, about this I talk more. As I told you that velocity will be displacement upon time, and displacement will be given by x2 minus x1 upon t2 minus t1. So average velocity, now I am only talking of velocity, I am not talking about speed. So v bar means I am talking of average velocity. That will be delta x upon delta t, and that will be x2 minus x1 upon t2 minus t1. If I draw the graph of position versus time, this will be time and this will be position. This is t1 time and this is t2 time. Correspondingly, supposing this is the graph of x versus t. So corresponding to t1 I will get one position x1. Corresponding to t2 I will get one position x2 over here. So this is the point A having coordinates t1 x1, and this is the point B having coordinates t2 and x2. Between t1 and t2, if I want to find average velocity, that is x2 minus x1 upon t2 minus t1. So x2 minus x1 upon t2 minus t1, it is nothing but difference of y coordinates upon difference of x coordinates. And what is difference of y coordinates upon difference of x coordinates? That is slope of a line, that you know. Slope of line joining the points x1 t1 x1 and t2 x2. So this thing, average velocity, x2 minus x1 upon t2 minus t1. That is what? That is slope of this line segment, that you know already. What will be slope of line segment AB? x2 minus x1 upon t2 minus t1. Difference of y coordinates upon difference of x coordinates. So what is the geometric meaning of average velocity for you? Geometric meaning of average velocity is that whatever time interval is given to you, in which you want to find average velocity, between t1 and t2 times. So plot the times, plot the points on the graph of position versus time. For t1 and t2, plot the points A and B, find their x coordinates, and take the slope of the graph. So slope of the graph of position versus time, slope of the graph of position versus time gives us the value of average velocity. Slope of the graph, see slope of line joining A and B. So slope of the graph of position versus time will give me the value of average velocity. So children, we have drawn so many graphs. If I draw the graph of this, it was coming out to be like this. If you can recall, this was position and this was time. Then for this, it was coming out like this. This was time and position. So this one was coming out to be like this. And for this, it was coming out to be like this. This was time and this was position. The graph will come out to be like this. This is the point 03. When time is 1, 2, 3, 4, your position will always remain. Your position always will remain 3. Your graph will come like this. So here the slope is negative, you can see that. Slope is negative because this line is making obtuse angle with positive direction of x-axis. Therefore here slope is negative. therefore average velocity is negative. Here slope is positive because line is making, this is positive x direction, acute angle, and therefore your slope is positive, and therefore your average velocity is also positive. Here your average velocity is negative. This is a horizontal line, its slope is 0, that you know, therefore bridge course was taken up, and therefore average velocity is 0. So when body is stationary, the average velocity will be 0 and your graph will come like this. So positive velocity, negative velocity and 0 velocity. How can we get information about velocity being positive, negative or 0? From the graph of position versus time. So from the graph of position versus time, we can make out whether velocity was negative, positive or 0. And if you want the value of the average velocity between two time intervals, you have to do like this. For t1 and t2, get the values of x1 and x2 by the different formula that I told you, and get the slope of the graph of position versus time for that two time intervals. That will give you the value of average velocity. So thank you children. In this video we talked about average velocity and average speed, how to get it, what is the geometrical meaning of average velocity. I told you geometrical meaning is it is the slope of the line of position versus time, and why it is slope I told you this much. And I told you by looking at the graph of position versus time how to identify whether velocity is positive, negative or 0. In the next video we will talk about instantaneous velocity. Thank you and God bless you children.